We're very happy with the chance to talk to our next guest, Andrew Ragusa, who is the CEO and broker of Remedy Realty on Long Island, New York, or I guess they say they're Long Island. But he joins us this morning with a kind of odd segment. But nevertheless, one that's very realistic, which is, would Santa's house in the North Pole sell? A realtor weighs in, and he is Andrew Ragusa. Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, Andrew, a very important topic today, obviously, with the beginning of Christmas week, and I say that with tongue firmly implanted in cheek. But, would Santa's house in the North Pole sell? I mean, you're a guy that deals in this kind of business, and, what are some of the positive and negatives of selling Santa's house in the North Pole? First of all, does he have it on the market? That's a big question I would ask.
Well, Santa contracted us to sell his house about 3 weeks ago, and we're getting ready to put it up there. You'll see it on Zillow soon. And currently, due to the current climate of not being able to find any properties, there's very low inventory, people looking for social distancing. Where else can you go to be socially distant?
Well, yeah, I mean, other than the mall right now, I mean, that's probably a great place. I mean, I go to the mall and, talk about not having the crowds you've had there in years past. But, I guess the North Pole is about as desolate as you get.
Mm-hmm.
So, Santa contacts you. He wants to get rid of his house. Is he looking to go to new property now, or what's going on here?
Well, based on what Santa's expectations were set between us, he wants to sell this house for the maximum value we can get, and he's going to relocate somewhere closer towards the South Pole. It's time for a change.
Okay,
taxes are getting too high.
Yeah, and of course we're in a very polarized world, so what the heck, we might as well go from the north to the south. I mean, it just makes some sense. I mean, Santa's just kind of going on with the current events, but. So what are the positive and negatives of selling Santa's house in the North Pole? You've been taking on this heavy responsibility.
Well, look, obviously this house has a big reputation and it has shoes to be filled. There is a community of elf workers, which is the number one product that is produced in that area.
Right.
And whoever purchases this property has to keep in mind that the factory conditions, the safety standards, everything has to be kept really at the top of its shape because they run the show. If you don't have the labor in place, that factory shuts down.
So basically the elves come with the property, is that it?
That's right. Well,
at least there's little shoes to fill, huh? I mean, not big ones. I'm sorry. But doing big jobs. And so, I mean, it's... so that's that. I mean, that in itself has got to bump up the property value right there. The fact that the elves come with the property, right?
Absolutely. I mean, these guys, first of all, they get paid in cookies and milk, so it's pretty affordable as far as a business standpoint. And keep in mind that Santa is selling toys year round on Amazon and eBay.
Yeah.
For all the other times that they're not given away for free, he's selling them online, making a fortune. So
wow. I mean,
these guys have to work.
What's the minimum wage for an elf, by the way? I just wondered about that. We talk about minimum wage a lot this year in current events. I wonder what the minimum wage for an elf is.
I asked when I spoke to him. It's 6 cookies and 2 glasses of milk.
6
minimum.
Cookies, 2 glasses of milk. Okay, and see, you're on top of this. I like the fact that you're with it. Andrew Ragusa with us this morning, who's a CEA and broker of Remedy Realty on Long Island. They've been contracted to sell Santa's North Pole property. What's this going to do for people? We often have to look for Santa flying out of the North Pole. I guess we got to look for him coming from south to north now, right?
Yeah, I guess his trajectory is going to change when he's flying around dropping off toys. But that part was always a mystery to me. I don't know how he does it in all one night, but he has not revealed that secret in our business transactions yet.
I mean, there's certain things he's going to tell you, and then there's certain things. I mean, you only tell your realtor so many things. I mean, you want to know everything there is to know about the property. By the way, how big a property is this? What all goes with it? We've mentioned the elves come with it, but what else is there?
Well, it's the entire North Pole, so I don't know how big is that.
Yeah,
400 acres.
I guess pretty good size. Yeah.
Yeah.
And only kids can see it, so I mean that's part of the problem too. I mean it's tough for adults, right?
Right. Well, I mean if you have children, they'll have an unlimited supply of toys if you move them up there. That's for sure. But the social distancing part, I think, is what's going to attract people the most this year.
Well, I like that idea, though, of unlimited toys. Hey, Mom, Dad, I want this. And you just call over to the shop, and the elves run it over. So, I mean, I guess that would be part of the perks of buying the property. So how do you value a property like that? I mean, how do you put a price on this? What are we looking at here, Andrew?
Well, here's the most rare house on planet Earth at the moment. So we're gonna try asking for $1 million and see what we can get. The reality is, as long as you don't overprice the house, you can't underprice it. So even if I put it on market for $1, someone will come up and offer more.
Yeah, well, I guess I wanted to wonder here a little bit too. Had you gotten Mrs. Claus's thoughts on this? I mean, obviously this is a joint decision, and to sell the house, change the location. Excuse me.
Sure, Mrs. Claus had voiced her desire to actually relocate somewhere closer to the equator. She didn't want to go north to South Pole, but apparently, it's a business thing where they have to be in the poles.
You talk about a house here that's likely over 200 years old.
Right.
The homeowner could expect to maybe pay. I mean, is this a TLC kind of place? Do you have to put a lot of updates and renovations into it? I mean, plumbing, appliances, all that stuff. 200 years old. I mean, that's a little bit of time passed.
Well, Santa was making a killing online selling toys and just really racking in the money over there. So he actually took a good portion of his profits and reinvested back into the house. With the Home Depot does incredible deliveries. They even deliver up to the North Pole. Getting contractors to come up there has been his biggest hurdle. But he does have updated kitchen. He does have updated appliances. Everything in that house is actually beautiful.
So have you had anybody bidding on the house so far? I mean, I'm thinking like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or somebody like that. Anybody that would, or are there, any strange entertainers maybe who'd like to live by themselves on the North Pole at a big property like this? Any thoughts on that?
Oddly enough, Mark Wahlberg has requested a tour.
And what was his reason?
He wouldn't tell me, but he came dressed as Santa already. My gut is telling me he's looking to fill the shoes and do the actual task.
It's Mark Wahlberg, who's everywhere anyway in every movie that ever has been made. So
probably the most likable guy.
Well, and that's a big question too. I mean, if you have somebody there with the elves, now is Santa going to train a whole new legion of elves down at the South Pole? I mean, he's leaving these behind, so obviously they're yesterday's news. So if Wahlberg buys this, do we get some competition coming from the north and coming from the south, meeting somewhere in the equator?
I'm not too sure what Santa's plan is. I did hear him mention something about training penguins to do a lot of things that were done before. But, honestly, Santa's ways are just magical, and I'm assuming he's going to pull it off somehow.
I was just wondering, maybe drones? I don't know. Santa's drones dropping presents. What a way to maybe you could cut down on some of the time and spend a little more time, sitting down and eating the cookies and drinking the milk, right?
Yeah, well, he did mention that he was in negotiations with Jeff Bezos. Since his Amazon store was becoming so large, it was only natural that Jeff would contact him directly. Who knows? They might be doing some sort of drone delivery service together with Amazon. Amazon is everywhere and ever expanding, so it wouldn't surprise me.
All right. Andrew Ragusa with us this morning, and you have to keep us up to date on how it sells and who it sells to ultimately here, Andrew. But thanks for having a good time this morning. Good sport. We really appreciate it, and good luck with Santa's house, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Merry Christmas, buddy. A lot of fun this morning. Really appreciate it. Take care. Andrew Ragusa this morning, selling Santa's house at the North Pole. A little bit of a strange segment.